And we're coming from 34 Rush, Todd Haight with Ryan Hasenauer. And how appropriate, Ryan, that yesterday, 34, Thurman Thomas had his number retired.
Awesome stuff. Big announcement there on his birthday, no less, for Thurman. So we wish Thurman well, and we're excited to have him get his number retired as an ambassador of Batavia Downs. He does a great job, and just a tremendous honor for really a major player here in Western New York.
So we'll see if 34 can bring us some luck on the Preakness Stakes coming up on Saturday. We did pretty well on the Derby. I had the exacta, Ryan had the exacta, so I think that went well. Trifecta, not the hardest either. Superfecta, a little bit tougher, although, Ryan, we did have one big winner.
We did. We had a $1 quick pick. If you can believe that, folks, somebody went to the Auburn branch out there, put their money in one of our SSTs, did a quick pick, and sure enough, it spat out a winner for the $1 Superfecta, paying them $19,000. You can see the ticket online on our social media pages. It can just be that simple sometimes, Todd.
All the handicapping in the world, speed figures, track biases, sire stats, and someone just hit a button and won $19,000. Make sure you check out those quick pick tickets on the Preakness Stakes. All right, Ryan, so Saturday is the second jewel, the Triple Crown. Only one horse has a chance of winning the Triple Crown. That's Justified.
Right.
1-2 on the morning line. What'd you think of his performance in the Derby?
I was impressed. He certainly stalked the lead. He broke well. He didn't get hassled by any of the horses. It really had somewhat of a dream trip there. And then he kind of pulled away there at the end. He was it 3 lengths? I think he ended up winning by.
Couple lengths.
So it wasn't really bothered too much by the second place finisher, Good Magic. But it was a really exciting race. I know it was absolutely packed here. Record numbers at Batavia Downs for our parties and for just the number of people that took in the race here. It was great.
The gala was a big hit, over 200 people attending our party. You're absolutely right. Mike Smith, his first job was to get him out of the gate. Sometimes he's a huge horse. He doesn't break that well. He broke on his toes. Mike sent him hard. He didn't care. He wanted to get him in position. And good horses will allow you to do that, Ryan, where he was able to sit off cheap speed, promises fulfilled, figured to have no chance in the race. He took the lead when ready. Didn't matter what the fractions were. And then both Doro took a run at him at the top of the stretch. He held him off easily. And then Good Magic took a run at him at halfway down the lane. He held him off, going 1 mile and 3/16, shorter than the Preakness, Ryan. You got to believe he's going to be tough.
It's going to be very, very difficult. Some of these new shooters that are coming in have some good wet numbers, and I know the weather is a factor, Todd.
Yes, 90% chance of rain. In fact, it's supposed to be sloppy at Pimlico today, Friday, and Saturday. And this is one thing trainer Bob Baffert is worried about, Ryan, because at the Derby, the track was sloppy,
right,
which was very good footing on the base of the track. Okay, and that's one reason Justified bruised his heel, because the bottom was hard. Now, after 3 days of rain, you might get that gooey, tiring track, which may not bode well for Justified. So we'll have to see how that the track plays on Saturday. But I like Justified. Are you going with Justified?
Yeah, Justified is definitely my pick, but just so everyone out there knows, there's still money to be made. Just a couple of years ago, when American Pharaoh was on his way to winning the Triple Crown, when he faced everybody in the Preakness, if I'm not mistaken, it was also a sloppy track, and it was also an 8-horse field. Now, the Tail the Verve came second, a 50-1 long shot, and they still paid out a nice exacta there at $62, a $492 try for $1, and a $1,900 superfecta. So there is money to be won out there. Even with the favorite finishing first, you just got to hopefully get lucky and get the right horse in second and third place.
In the Preakness, we have seen long shots rally late to get second and third and create some bigger payoffs. We're going to go through the 8 horses field rather quickly here. Number 1, Quip. Now, what's interesting about this horse, Ryan, he's owned by the same people that own Justified.
That's right. So really it's the folks out of China, and then also the local base of Windstar Farms. So now this horse finished second to Magnum Moon in the Arkansas Derby. He won the Tampa Bay Derby back there in March, but it looked like he skipped the Derby. I wasn't sure if he had enough points.
He had enough points,
but didn't want to do it. So he'll probably set or stock the pace, Todd. And he does have the highest wet number in the field at 443, according to the Daily Racing Form.
We'll have to see how the rail is playing. Now, normally at Pimlico, when the track is wet, the rail is not the place to be. We'll have to see if Quip wants to get into an early battle with his uncoupled entry mate, stable mate, Justify. I can't imagine those two are going to hook up, but crazier things have happened when the starting gate. Florent Giroux, he has no choice but to go from the rail or he's going to get trapped. I don't know. I can't read Quip. He's not really an off-the-pace horse, so if he goes out and has to tangle with Justify, that may not bode well for his chances, but perhaps he can hang around for a piece. 2, Ryan, I know we both like this horse. 15-1 Lone Sailor coming out of the Derby.
Got a jockey change there with Leonardo Ortiz taking over. Second in the Louisiana Derby and was in sixth, but kind of faded late down the stretch in the Kentucky Derby to finally finish eighth. Not a great career wet number, but did get his first win. I think you mentioned this during our Derby broadcast. Got his first win ever on a sloppy track, albeit all the way back at Saratoga in September. But certainly a very valuable horse at 15-1 to keep in your superfectas, trifectas, and exactas.
He'll be last early, no question about it, but I think as some of the horses get tired chasing Justified, especially if the track is deeper than it was at Churchill Downs, I think you're going to see Lone Sailor make a late run. He did have some trouble in the Derby. He got caught in behind Free Drop Billy. He had to wait for that one to kind of move out of the way. Certainly cost him some lengths. He got beat right at the wire. He would have been closer. I really think Lone Sailor is going to be improved on Saturday, and I do like the rider change. Irad Ortiz Jr., one of the upcoming stars in thoroughbred racing as far as jockeys are concerned. One of two Dean Wayne Lucas horses, 3 Sporting Chance, Ryan, 30-1.
30-1 odds, and folks, a lot of times when these new shooters come into the Preakness, they're well rested. Well, Sporting Chance might as well have raced it in the Derby because he literally raced a couple of races earlier at Churchill Downs on Derby Day. So he's operating with the same amount of rest as the rest of those Derby horses. Wet number of 4:39 and did finish 4th in that race on Derby Day in the slop because, of course, it had the same weather conditions. So this horse at 30-1, he might be a little outclassed here, but we'll have to take a look because, again, Dean Wayne Lucas, a monster of a trainer, really good, with the horses, and I believe has more Preakness wins, six than Bob Baffert does.
They're tied at 6. Both Baffert has 6 and Lucas has 6. Interesting about Sporting Chance, Ryan, he was 3rd in the Bluegrass, only beating a couple lengths to Good Magic. Mm-hmm. So I kind of think if you like Good Magic, I think you may have to want to include Sporting Chance. Now, his race in the Batavia Mile was a nightmare trip. He got checked up the backstretch, and then he was forced to go wide. He actually ran okay. Personally, I think this is a better horse than Bravazzo. People will disagree with me, but earlier in the career, this horse won the Hopeful Stakes. This was touted as one of the top 2-year-olds, and then he kind of went the other way. What scares me is Sunday he refused to go, which is never a good sign. But we'll see. Yes. But we'll see. Dean Wayne Lucas won with Oxbow a few years ago on a long shot, going to the lead. Ryan, I think this is the horse that they're going to send to the lead, and I think that's why they ran him in the Batavia Mile. You see that first fraction, 22-1, very, very fast. I look for Luis Contreras to send this horse to the lead. Here's another big long shot, the 4 Diamond King, ridden by Javier Castellano.
Javier Castellano taking over the mount there from Frankie Pennington. And Frankie Pennington's been on this horse since he started racing. So really what's interesting to see is that you got a jockey change there. Castellano, one of the best, of course, and did win the Preakness last year with Cloud Computer.
Yes, he did.
A wet number of 401 and a 30-1 long shots. Won his last race at Laurel Park just a couple of weeks ago, so he's got a little bit more rest, and he's got some good lineage there with the AP Indy. So we'll see. He'll probably stalk the lead as well.
Just not fast enough on paper. He's never had a speed figure even in the 90s. He would really have to step up his game to beat this field. He is the local horse, though, winning last time out in the Tessio. 5 Good Magic ran a great race in the Derby. 2-year-old champion. Going good right now. Has no plans of running in the Belmont. That's why he's back here in 2 weeks rest, Ryan. He's going to be tough.
Yeah, and with a good wet number, we got to think that he's going to be maybe sent a little bit earlier this time and try to maybe, challenge Justified for that top lead. With the race being a little bit shorter, there's a possibility that maybe he could nip him at the end there if he gets sent a little bit sooner. So we'll see.
Yeah, no question about it. What happens, how Justified, really and truly, the question is, will Justified regress 2 or 3 lengths? If he does, nobody knows. If Good Magic improves 2 or 3 lengths, that might be the difference between turning the tables. We're definitely confident Good Magic is in good form. He wouldn't be in this race. Justified, he really has to run. He's the only one with a chance at a Triple Crown, although the reports are he's doing just fine as well. Should be a good horse race. Clearly the second best horse in the race. If he can't be Justified, he looks like he'll definitely be second, at least on paper. 6, here's another long shot. 20-1, Ryan, tenfold, coming out of the Arkansas Derby.
Yeah, 5th place finish in the Arkansas Derby with Victor Espinosa on his back. He gets a jockey change as well. Ricardo Santana's going to be riding him. His dad was curling, so he's got good lineage and a good wet number of 428. But again, it's a tough finish there in the Arkansas Derby, and at 20-1 odds might not be a factor.
Yeah, I don't give him a lot of chance. After watching Magnum Moon run poorly in the Derby, coming out of the Arkansas Derby, I just don't know how good that race was. We'll see what Quip, who's coming out of that race as well, but I just can't give Tenfold a big shot. Although Steve Asmussen, one of the top trainers in the sport. 7 Justified, we already talked about him. 1-2 Ryan, actually may go off lower than that.
Yeah, and looking at some of the favorites over the course of the last couple of years, I think the post time for American Pharaoh was 10-13, and I think last year's winner ended up going off at 1-2, always dreaming there. So again, this horse is just a monster, though. Like we talked about before, he's got tons of poundage of muscle on top of most of the thoroughbreds. And even if the track does get to be the point where it's really sloppy, you got a big horse who's really strong and powerful. Hopefully he can power through that and really make the Belmont an exciting race if he wins this one.
No question about it. I think he's got a better chance in the Belmont than in this race, because this race they're going to go fast early and someone may fight him. With the Belmont, they just go one speed. They go, they're trying to pace themselves, which really should bode well for him in the Belmont if he can get past this jewel. $3, don't like betting heavy favorites, but he's awfully tough to bet against based on his Derby performance. Here's the horse everybody's talking about, Ryan. He ran so well. I had him picked for 19th in the Derby. He actually finished 6th. Bravazzo, number 8, another D. Wayne Lucas horse, who gets a big rider change. Luis Saez was the leading rider at Gulfstream Park. What do you think? Can he repeat that last performance?
He certainly started to pick off horses down the stretch there as he started to improve and kind of got through the traffic. Again, a good wet number, and certainly, post positions aren't super important in the Preakness because there's not as many horses kind of jostling for position. So Bravazzo could turn some heads here. I'm not sure if he's going to win the whole thing, but you definitely have to include him in your exotic bets.
Yeah, no doubt about it. I left him out of my super because I can't pick them all, but I certainly would consider Bravazzo. He did run good. I still believe Sporting Chance is a better horse, but D. Wayne Lucas, when he was interviewed yesterday, thought Bravazzo would run well, so I have to respect that. So Ryan, how are we playing the race?
Well, there's a lot of different things you can do. You can go to BataviaBets.com to get an account. Of course, you can always visit us here for the big party. $15, and the party has been moved. It's now back down in the paddock room. $15 is going to get you a $15 free play once you earn a point in the gaming floor. Going to get you all those great lunch specials, comes with the soft drink as well, and a $2 wager on the Preakness Stakes. We've got Black Eyed Susans for sale for $5. We're going to be trying to get rid of some of our Derby glasses that we still have left over, so you'll get one of those while supplies last, of course. And of course, it's going to be a great day. It's going to be the day after our big anniversary. We've been here for 13 years at Batavia Downs. So we'll still have anniversary drawings that evening for cash and for free play. So you can really make a day of it here at Batavia Downs. In terms of what I think we're going to do for the race,
what are we going to do?
I really think that I'm going to include Justify on top. I might put Good Magic up there with him, but really those are the only horses I'll have up there. Definitely want to include Lone Sailor, and I think Quick might make some noise with that really good wet number, and Bravazzo as well. So using some sort of combination of those guys in second and third and fourth with those other two horses on top, that's how I'm going to play it here on Saturday.
Yeah, don't forget advanced wagering. We're taping this on Thursday. Advanced wagering begins tomorrow, 11 a.m. at your local OTB online at Batavia Bets, right here at the racetrack. And then tomorrow, Preakness Stakes Day, all OTBs open at 10 a.m. You can wager right until the last horse goes in the gate, which is about 6:48. Ryan, I'm going to bet 3 tries. You can't spend a lot of money because if the favorites run, there's not a lot of money to be won, unfortunately. I'm playing 3 tries, $5 tries. I'm going to go for $15. I'm playing 7-5-1 with Quip for third, 7-5-2 with Lone Sailor for third, and 7-5-8 with Bravazzo for third. It actually looks that easy. Maybe turn those horses second and third around, trying to get that longer price second like it's happened in the last few years. Maybe Good Magic fades back to third, but I can't go against Justified. Can you go against him?
I just can't. He's too big, too good of a horse, and like you said, he may even wow us in the Belmonts if he wins on Saturday at the Preakness.
All right, for Ryan, I'm Todd and Kim. Good luck on the Preakness Stakes. We'll see you in 3 weeks, hopefully, with a chance at a Triple Crown.